Okay. Hi, everybody. Purely Patricia here. I am back at my dress-up party, and it's been a while. I took a little bit of a break, and I'm just going to say hi to you, and I'm really happy to be back again. Hi, Herman, and hi, Daphne. And, tonight is going to be really interesting. My dress-up party started when isolation came in and COVID kind of made everybody stay home. You can be in my live video, sure. So we're going to have a guest. So Herman, hang in there. What is it? Okay. And let me just say hi to everybody. So my dress-up party all started because I'm a dressed-up person and I had no place to go. And I'm a social person. And I love being social like we all do on some level, whether you're shy, whether you're really out there, whether you really like to get dressed up. But nobody was really conditioned to stay home alone or stay home with their families. And I don't know about anybody else, but I've gotten to know my partner really, really well. I mean, I know now that the lettuce has to go into the refrigerator a certain way. And so that was interesting. And, social media and Instagram was a way for me to stay connected. Hi, Sharon Feldstein. And so I started my dress-up party. As a matter of fact, this is the 12th episode. And I have a very special guest for tonight. His name is Tom Garruto. And Tom Garruto is a social media expert. And I don't know about you, but Instagram is a foreign object, something that I became very involved in, and it's sometimes obsessed over. And I'm going to invite Tom on. So let's see. I have to, okay. I love Tom, and wait till you see how cute he is. And I'll tell you a little bit about our story when he comes on. There he is.
Hi, Patricia.
Hi, Tom. This is the first time we're splitting a screen together, isn't it?
I know. I mean, we FaceTime for hours and hours and hours. So usually I see my face up in the corner in a box, but now I get equal billing, huh?
So let me ask you a question. Can you fix your sound? I can hardly hear you.
You can
Is that
hardly
me
hear
at my
me.
end?
I don't know. Can the people in the audience not hear me?
Okay, I got you. I had you down too low. So hi.
Hi.
I was trained by Tom to look at the camera, which is difficult to do because you have to look straight ahead, which is the proper way. And he's on the bottom screen. So Tom Garruto is a social media expert. He is the producer of my dress up party and my Out of the Closet and Into Your Life episodes. And I have to say that he encouraged me, knowing the kind of a person I am out in the world. Right, Tom?
Right.
You're not going to say I'm out of control, are you?
You're not out of control. I would say that you're larger than life, but this is your life.
This is my life.
This is your life. You can't be larger than your life. This is your life. You just have a big life.
I do have a big life, and I remember feeling very tearful when social media, and COVID and being isolated, I felt like my life was over. And I know a lot of people felt that way. Was that your experience too with people that you work with in social media and just in your personal life alone?
Well, first of all, I think I have to give a shout out to, we like shouting out people in the comments. A good friend, I think it's my good friend Ryan from high school, who I haven't talked to in years. Hi, Ryan.
I think I know Ryan too. Do I know Ryan too? Is he from the modeling agency?
I think he would say so.
Is he say, okay, French twist, Lunar and Low. So Tom, I haven't been on at my dress up party in a while.
Mm-hmm.
And you and I were talking about Instagram, and we were talking about social media in general. And you are an incredible authority on social media. You have a company by the name of The Social Edge, and can you tell us a little bit about what that company is and what they do and how you are, what your relationship is with them?
Yes, yeah, absolutely. The Social Edge is a social media marketing and digital publishing company in New York City. And we started in 2012 with our main
Match
client.
made in heaven. Can I just say that? I want to thank you. When's the
Thank
next
you.
pizza review? Well, you know what? I don't know. I just have to jump on. We need to. I love that the pizza review. Can you talk about the pizza review people? Work Travel Panda. What a cute name.
So the pizza review, tell us what the pizza review is, because some of your followers don't know what the pizza review is.
Well, there's Dave Portnoy, and he hangs out. I don't know. I think that Dave is above my pay grade at this point. He's become so famous and so busy, and we just like to drip cheese on each other and oil and eat pizza together. He's Barstool Sports. I have to give Dave a big shout out. I adore him. And I don't know when, he has a rule of thumb that you can only do one pizza review, but we did two together. I think we have great chemistry with each other. So we're gonna tag Dave so he can see that I miss him, and I'd love to do another pizza review. And my outfit is waiting in my closet to just darn so I can go and eat pizza and have the cheese drip all over. That's what
And
Dave.
outdoor dining is now open again, so you can do pizza reviews.
Okay. But anyway, getting back to what we were talking about, Social Edge.
So the Social Edge, it started, our main client, a well-known social media celebrity, George Takei. We started his social media back.
Wait. I didn't know who George. I used to call him George Takaki. But say who he is, not Star Trek. He's on, yeah,
He
Star
was on
Trek.
Star Trek. He was Sulu on Star Trek.
How many followers does he have?
Well, when I joined, he had, I think, 6 million followers, and now across all channels, he has over 24 million followers.
Seriously?
Yep. Yep.
Well, I want what he has. I don't think there's a person watching that doesn't want at least a little piece of what he. So how do you get all those followers? It doesn't seem real, Tom. Tell us about that.
It's a difficult road. We helped him and consulted with his social media to find the perfect content for his audience. There, what I like to talk about with social media is you are one person who has a social media account, and you have followers, and you have interests, and they have interests. And sometimes it's not talking about just what you want to talk about all the time. It's finding what your audience wants to talk about. So knowing your audience and knowing what your audience enjoys looking at, and especially with your own social media, you're a brand. What is your brand? And a brand is a repeatable experience. What are you
Am I
delivering?
experience?
Will you tell me, if you told me what is your repeatable experience, what would you say?
I don't know. I mean, you're putting me on the spot here. You're my producer, and we created my brand, Purely Patricia. Hi, the Foundation. I miss you.
Hi, Christy. Hi, Michael.
And we're going to open this up for questions. Am I right? How do we do that?
Okay, so I think.
But anyway, talk about. So I'm a brand. I'm Purely
Yeah.
Patricia. I'm a person. I don't make a product. I am the product. It's a lot of pressure. This is my business attire. And I know a lot of dress up people, the transvestites of the world, the performers of the world, the singers of the world. Everybody that's on stage is having a challenge at this time. So what would you say is my brand? I mean, what is the question and what is the answer, Tom?
I think the question is, what do people expect when they visit your social media time and time again? What is the promise that you're making to someone who clicks follow, that they will have this experience whenever they see your content? And I think that for you, what speaks to me, and what's interesting is that you could have a few different experiences. And for me, the experience is I am a gray, black, muted colors person.
You
You
are?
know, you know me regularly. You've pulled me out of the bed. I would never have. So Patricia was the reason I bought this shirt, and I would never have bought this shirt on my own.
I know.
I
Hey, you should stand up a little bit.
okay. Okay, there we go.
That shirt, it's amazing on you. It matches your painting. If the two of you could walk around together, you would be like a big statement. Sorry.
And to me, you are someone who inspires me to live a brighter, more colorful, and more expressive life that I don't tap into instinctually. You know, that's not my everyday attitude, is to go bigger and more expressive. And you help me do that through looking at your content and seeing this woman is so, vivacious. She's so bold that there's no reason that I can't do that too.
So let me ask you a question. We're here to talk about social media tonight, and there's a lot of people that have questions about social media. You know, for me personally, I find it bewildered. I am bewildered all of the time. I never feel secure in building my Instagram or, sharing who I am with people, because it feels like the algorithms, as I what you call it, are constantly changing. For example, I put my iPad on tonight. Now I have a border. 2 weeks ago when we did the show, I didn't have the border, so I felt like I did something wrong. So what's the best advice that you could give to somebody? Just simple advice. Doing Instagram. The advice you gave to me was to have fun with it, not worry about how many followers I had, how many likes. I didn't take your advice about when I thought I should post or not, and I should have, because it's just bewildering to me. So, and we can open this up for questions. There are people that wanted to ask you questions. So, Tom, what do you think? What the best advice you could give?
The best advice that I can give, and you said it, with the changing algorithms, the way that things update all the time, it's a moving target. It's hard to pin down what success is from day to day on social media. So my best advice is not to overthink it, not to put all of your eggs in one basket. Have fun. Do what you want to do. And if it's something that you can repeat, and you can repeat your style, and you can repeat your intent, then you'll find an audience for it. But don't get depressed when the algorithm changes and it goes out of favor. Everything comes in and out of fashion.
So let me ask you, what is the point of Instagram? Why do any of us actually even need to have Instagram? I mean, none of us, I don't know. Some people maybe get sponsors or make a lot of money. I know that I met these girls and they had more free stuff for if they posted somebody's name. I mean, what is the point of Instagram? Why is it that we can't live without it? And why is it that we can't live with it?
Well, we love to see into other people's lives, right? Especially if they're fabulous. And for a long time, Instagram has been the place where it's imagery, it's beautiful imagery, it's imagery of your friends, it's imagery of people you aspire to be. Like when I follow you and I look at your stuff, that is not only a friend, but it's something that I aspire to be.
Well, wait a sec. I just want to tell you that my likes go up a lot when I'm half naked.
Well, I think there's no secret there.
Shirt off. I mean,
Sex sells, Patricia.
Huh?
Sex sells.
Sex sells. So even on Instagram.
Even on Instagram, especially on Instagram.
And how do they monitor that? I mean, you had to put stars on my breasts.
So
my last post. You want to see my last post, right?
Yeah.
I thought the stars were a little big, Tom. Did you? I don't know. You're going to teach me how to do that. But for those of you that are just joining us, we're a little bit around the map. If Tom wants to rein me in, he knows how. We're here with Tom Garruto from The Social Edge. He is a social media expert that actually, Tom, you can describe what you actually do.
So I work with influencers and social media pages to find the content that expresses them, that their audience also really wants to engage with. You know, it's a Venn diagram. It's finding that space in the middle of what does your page really want to talk about, and what does your audience really want to see, and finding that middle of the Venn diagram, and delivering on that content consistently to grow your audience and engage your base.
And you're successful at it.
Yeah, yeah, I would say I'm successful at it.
I know you are. So, how has it been producing Instagram Live? And, you know, we had a conversation the other night, which is what prompted this particular episode. I said, Tom, you have to come on and talk about social media while people are isolated and in COVID. And it was such an interesting conversation, and it was so informative that I don't really know how to break it down. So I'm going to turn it over to you to kind of talk about what social media means in a time and place. And then when you're the producer of our show, when you want to open it up for questions, can people ask questions now, or?
People can ask questions now. First, you know, I think you brought up a really interesting point about what social media is today in a COVID world. And it's changed a lot. It's changed a lot in the past 3 months, and I think that the platform that has changed the most has been Instagram. We saw Instagram go from a place where you saw pictures of beautiful people and beautiful brands to it's a place to see pictures of friends that you do not get to see anymore, that you're socially distant from, that you can't travel to see. There's a lot more focus on your actual friends. And then there's a new focus with social justice movements. We had Black Lives Matter in June that blew up on Instagram, and that was a great thing to see. And it changed the kind of content that people come to Instagram for. You're seeing a lot of those gallery slideshows of how you can help, resources about social justice movements to educate, inform, entertain. You know, this is a new kind of consumption. And people, people where they came to glamour before, now they're coming to Instagram to be enlightened.
You're being questioned. I mean, do people, I don't know, the Trim Queen wants to know if Instagram's become more, hi Brian, become more authentic again.
I think that it's become more authentic in a different way. Hi Jana. I feel like we got into like what you referenced, influencers who get a bunch of free stuff if they say that they have an ad, or it's a sponsored post, and that's not entirely authentic. There are really good influencers who do really good work with brands, who can work it into their style and the kind of content they do, but there are a lot of influencers who just get sent free stuff and posts #sponsored, which is inauthentic.
Should we go to a fashion question? Patricia, do you have any advice on how to pick the best outfit for a date?
Okay. William, I know William.
Oh, you know William?
I know William.
Okay, so then why don't you answer that question? I mean, Tom is the one who's really dating. I mean, I always think that if you're going to date, you need one shoulder off.
Well, so do I.
Okay.
I think that you have to know what kind of date you're going on and who you're meeting. On one hand, you want to fit in with the situation and have it be appropriate for the style of date, but on the other hand, you don't need to change yourself for the person that you're going on a date with. Don't worry about what they want you to look like. You present the best version of you in that situation.
So getting back to social media, do you think that it's created an excessive behavior on people? I mean, I know that people are, it makes people crazy. I think people get crazy over Instagram. And, how would you address that, Tom? Are people obsessed over Instagram, and has it caused people to, I don't know.
I think that it creates a lot of anxiety. At its worst, it's an addictive platform. You know, you can check back for how did this post do? What are the likes on this? They're not reacting a certain way. Should I delete it? You know, there has to be a bit more ease in it. You know, it can create such anxiety, and it can create a platform for bullying, for trolling, for
Oh,
people being mean and nasty to each other. And that's been a great lesson for me working with bigger celebrities and influencers who, you know, are called terrible things every day.
okay.
And
Somebody is asking, keep your eye on the question so we can. What is the best time of day to post on social media, Tom, and how often should one be posting? That's a great
hi,
question.
Joel. I know Joel. Thanks for
Well,
the
can you
question,
pretend
Joel.
you don't know somebody? Whose show is this anyway? Uh,
I'm
did you
taking
make?
over.
Well, I want you to take over. You're the producer. I didn't do my. How did you get everybody to come on? You must have sent out a big shout out, right? It's so complicated, but. Anyway, so answer what time? I don't know. Is there a good time? Everybody's
You
out.
know, I feel people get really, really wound up over this question because they'll go to 10 different platforms that tell them 10 different answers. And my best, you know, it's going to be different for everyone, and it's going to be different for pieces of content. It's going to be different for each type of content. I think if you've got good content and you're not posting it in the middle of the night, post it whenever you're ready.
Oh, that's so freeing. I love.
Instagram tells you when your people are most online, but that doesn't mean they're going to be engaging with your content. They might be distracted. They might be at work. They might not ready in a place to like your content or leave a comment. And then other platforms will tell you specific times, like post at 3:46 p.m. And a lot of what they're doing is taking your previous posts and seeing what time your best posts were posted. That doesn't take into account how good the content was, because not all content's created equal. So they're not taking into account that it just might have been a very viral piece of content regardless of the time it was posted. I think there's a lot of anxiety around that.
I know. I know. Um, I'm. What question? Tell us about the relationship. I think Facebook bought Instagram, and you were telling me, which I found very interesting. All of these different platforms, you can do probably name more than I can, but there's Snapchat, there's Facebook, which I don't know, but millennials are not using Facebook. There's Twitter, and there's always something new. So, number one, how do you stay on top of that to support your business and your clients? And is it something that we should be thinking about? I mean, Instagram history eventually and soon.
So, you know,
Oh, it's a great question, Tom. Do you see it?
I see. Do you think taking away the number of likes has been good or bad for influencers?
That's a great question, Christy. Let's go to that.
I'm going to pretend I don't know Christy.
No, I don't either. I see her name.
I know Christy. Hi, Christy.
All right, so this is the Tom dress-up party.
Uh,
He's gonna. Tom is
oh,
so.
thanks, The Found Fashion.
A lot of dates. You a very wonderful human. Oh, that's our fan, the Found Fashion. She was on one of our first shows. We love her.
She's a great guest.
I know, we love her. So, Tom, can you answer
So
that?
taking away of likes for influencers.
They haven't yet, though, have they?
They haven't yet for everyone in the U.S. They have in different countries, and what they found, they rolled it out to a few select countries first, and they found that people actually liked more on the content in certain countries when there were no likes present, and they liked less in other countries where there were no likes present. So there's a cultural thing about feeling from country to country, feeling like you are, you know, joining in on something that everybody wants to be popular, or just liking whatever you like.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it'll be a good thing in the US. I think there's too much focus on, you know, my value equals the likes. Your value is, you all have value.
So, Tom, do your likes go up and down according to how often you post? Does it matter? I mean, why does one post do better than another post? There doesn't seem to be any sense or consistency. I'm asking very basic questions to
Yeah.
keep it simple. You know, our first time around. And Queen Patricia, we bow down to. Who's that? Okay, Devin. All right, I like that
Okay,
idea.
Devin.
Oh, Devin too.
I don't know Devin.
So tell us a little bit about that.
You know, I find you have to find what works for you and what people like to see of you. What I find on my page is if I just post like a plain photo of my face with a bit about what I'm going through right now, either it's something that's a little bit more emotional or it's, you know, just a throwaway like rooftop time with the dog. If I just post like a plain photo of my face, that's when I get the best reaction.
Oh,
Um,
slow down for a second. Let's think about that for a minute. So you're saying that when you post your face, which we all don't have, it's a pretty gorgeous face, your posts do better, and you're talking about something that the topic of something that's emotional with you, and people like authentic.
People like authentic, people like a window into what's going on in your world. Um, you know, I don't do too much stuff that is, I used to post things that I saw around town that were funny or interesting. I think now the place for that is really to go in your stories, which is your everyday content that's, you know, it's not something you want to memorialize on your feed, but you saw something that you think your followers would also enjoy. So, you know, I think that there's that's also a big separation that's happened is what to post in your feed versus what to post in your stories. Um, you know, can you tell me a little bit about what you feel about posting in your feed versus your stories? What has your reaction been there?
Well, I started posting in my stories. First of all, you encouraged me to do that. And I see that people get a notice immediately. And I like posting in my stories because it's like happening in the moment. It's real life. And my feed seems to last forever, you know, and stories is only 24 hours still, unless they've changed that, correct?
Yep, that's correct.
For a while there, do I post in my stories? Do I post in my feed? Uh, I wasn't sure what to do. You know, I find it overwhelming, you
Yep.
know. And then also all these places where you can get messages through messengers, through direct messaging, you know, and how much time can a person spend? You know, you have a life to live. Like I haven't really posted in the last few days because I'm back to working.
You know,
And
that's a great point. Is I have, you know, I have a pattern of when I have a lot of free time, and this ties in with there's a question from William saying, is there too much content for your feed? That you know, I think that there is a such thing as too much content for your feed. I think if you're posting more than once a day in your feed, you're probably overdoing it, and some of it can go in your stories. I think the optimal amount is about 3 to 4 times a week, but I certainly don't adhere to that. When I have a lot of time on my hands, especially when I'm having fun with my life, I'm posting a lot. I'm posting every day. When I'm very busy, when I'm working, I'm in grad school. When I'm in grad school a lot, I don't post hardly at all. I just forget about it.
so you're the producer of my Instagram Live. Let's talk about Instagram Live.
Okay. And by the way, you're popping my Instagram Live cherry. I've never been a guest on an Instagram Live yet.
I'm popping now. Now you're speaking my language. Forget all of this technical stuff. I'm popping your Instagram cherry.
My Instagram Live cherry. I've never been on an Instagram Live. I've helped other people through it countless times. This is my first time.
So how do you think you're doing?
I think I'm doing okay.
Can you see that little number next to live, or do I only get to see that?
I can see that.
Can our audience see that?
Yeah, our audience can see that.
Oh, what is that? Is that how many people are actually watching at the moment?
That's how many people are watching right now.
I'm seeing like I just got totally depressed. I got all dressed up. And so you are a natural. Okay, the Found Foundation, Patricia, this is making my day. You know, the Found Fashion, don't you have like tons of friends that you can invite on to show? So Tom, now I would say Cherry Ho. That's
Hi, Howard.
so how should I be feeling right now? I mean,
I think it's a very interesting way that you phrased that question. Did you hear yourself? You said, "How should I be feeling right now?"
now you're going to be my therapist.
Yep.
Okay.
Not how do you feel right now?
I feel depressed. I have 9 people watching my Instagram live. I have Shirley behind me, my mother, and me as a kid, which you can't see anymore because there she is. There I am. There she is. And here's the brother that everybody likes to look at that I don't speak to.
Bye bye, brother.
So how come they make it so you can see how many people are watching it and everything? Don't you think that's private information?
And I think this is a really great example of what we were
Block
talking
it.
about
Oh no, you
earlier.
can't block it by standing up. Look, I just lost another person.
And see, I think this is exactly what we were talking about before. We were having so much fun.
I'm still having fun. I still am. I'm still having fun. So I feel like a voyeur time, exciting. Patricia has a way of doing that. Aw, I miss everybody in social media and being out in the world. And you've been a great producer, a great supporter. I've learned so much from you. You've encouraged me to be the best that I can be. And I always say you can't say the right thing to the wrong person. You can't say the wrong thing to the right person. And I see the celebrities are on Instagram Live, and I find them boring. Some of them even depressing, but they're celebrities. And, I see this going up and down. And the Found Fashion, she's a fan, and she's going to stay for as long as we stay, and
And she's given us some hearts.
yeah, those are all from Found. I vote Patricia does her birthday Britney Spears fashion show. So, Tom, is there anything else we want to talk about before we end? You say, we should go for about a half an hour, and it's that now. Tell me.
I think that our message for everyone is have fun with your social media. It's about you. Nobody else outside of you can make you feel any way. Have fun, let loose, liberate yourself, express yourself. Just play around.
So Trim Queen feels differently. She feels fans matter, engagement matters. What do you think about that? I agree with her, and then Black Lives Matters. Everything matters. That's what I think.
Everything matters. Everything matters. But when you let fans and engagement dictate your inner life, that's when you get into trouble. It's just a social media platform.
Well, I think that this has been great. Is there any advice that, I think that we've said it all the time, have fun, that, people, I happen to have loved the Barstool Sports guys. We come from different worlds, but some of them couldn't relate to me, and others embraced me, and you have your own real world, right?
Yeah.
And that's the world that you actually live in, and the virtual world is the social media world, and it's so beyond our control, and I think having fun with it is probably the best advice. You've been wonderful. You've created a life for yourself and a living for it. Lucky Judge, what's his name?
George Takei.
George Takei. I just say that for fun. He's so famous, and the fact that, All right. So are we going to be doing it next week? I'm away on a vacation. I'm heading out towards Martha's Vineyard. And, one bite. One bite knows the rules. I would love to say that with Dave. Well, everybody write into Dave, all 7 of you. Tom?
Signing off. I think this has been a great show.
It's been a great show. It's my dress up party. Follow me on Instagram, Purely Patricia, and tune into my station.
Subscribe to your YouTube, Purely Patricia. You
Right.
can find her on all platforms, Purely Patricia,
Okay.
LinkedIn, Facebook, even TikTok.
I know. TikTok. We didn't even talk about TikTok. Oh my
That's for
God.
another day.
We'll do it. So stay tuned, and we'll do another my dress up party. I'm relaxing the rules a little bit. You can come dressed any way you want, but Tom got all dressed up tonight. Looks very colorful, and I want to thank you for being a part of the dress up party and giving us great advice on social media. And make it a great night, everybody. Stay healthy. Good
Bye.
night.